Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So after doing the story the other day about Glendale School District, where they wanted to incorporate Pride into the curriculum basically, to teach it to elementary school kids, this story came up recently and it's about a gamer called Nick Mercs. Now, not something I know much about, but the story in itself, what happened to this gamer, is very important and we need to ask why. Why is it parents aren't allowed to give their opinion about their own child? Why is it parents aren't allowed to give their opinions about the schools that will teach their children for years to come? They're not simply allowed to state their opinion when it comes to LGBTQ issues. If you don't say the right thing, you're going to be labelled. And that's what's happened to this person. So Nick Mercs simply said the other day, when asked about what's going on in California, where they want to incorporate Pride into the school, teaching kids about LGBTQ, these are elementary school kids. And he simply said, leave the kids out of it, or tweeted. That's all that was said. And apparently that is anti-LGBTQ, to say that you don't think it's appropriate to teach kids those concepts, things that pertain to sex, in particular, gay sex. You don't think that's appropriate. And that is anti-LGBTQ. If somebody said they didn't want their kids learning about sex in school, the birds and the bees, that they think that's something that parents should teach, in response to them wanting to teach about, a straight couple or straight scenario, I wouldn't say that's anti-straight. I would say, okay, that's a parent who doesn't want their children being exposed to these things in order to preserve their kid's innocence, in order to make sure that their kid is allowed to just be a kid, in order to make sure that their kid isn't in some way, indoctrinated or influenced in a way that they don't care for. I wouldn't say that's anti-straight. Absolutely ridiculous. And there's publications, news outlets saying that he had his skin, as they call it, removed because of anti-LGBTQ statement. What? Leave the kids out of it? That's anti-LGBTQ? Really, this is basically not doing that community any favors. It's painting that community out to be something that's pretty sinister when you can say leaving the kids out of it is anti-LGBTQ. That's not doing that community any favors by using that sort of language, using that sort of rhetoric. So let's take a look. A storm has brewed up regarding Nick Mercs. After a short tweet he posted in response to a Pride Month protest, the fallout has resulted in both backlash and support for the streamer, and eventually, Call of Duty removed his skin from the game. So we all know about what Call of Duty is all about then. I mean, I don't play that game, obviously. Don't know nothing about it, but we know what they're all about. Nick Mercs is one of the most popular streamers on Twitch, regularly pulling in more than 20,000 viewers on any given stream. He is best known for playing shooter games and battle royales like Call of Duty and Apex Legends. Okay. A skilled player and an excellent entertainer, he has amassed a large following with millions of loyal fans. It's fair to say that he has never been a particularly controversial streamer, but this changed on June 7 when he made a short but notable tweet. Now, this is somebody who isn't political, as far as I'm aware. This is somebody who, he's not, known to be on the right or even on the left, just a streamer or, gamer. That's it. Never heard of this person on the political, arena speaking about Trump or anything like that. No. He's just a father. Apparently he's a new father. He became a father recently. And he's given his opinion about schools teaching Pride Month. He just simply gave his opinion. And we have the First Amendment here. We're allowed to state what our opinions are, especially when it pertains to children, when you are a parent. Apparently, when it comes to certain groups, if your opinion doesn't align with the mainstream, then you're a bigot and you deserve to lose, part of your livelihood. Responding to a tweet about Pride Month being recognised in a school which had resulted in a brawl and 3 arrests, Nick Mercs said, They should leave the little kids out of it. That's the real issue. And this is what has been met with such backlash. The backlash to the comment was swift, with many in the gaming community calling him a bigot and labelling the tweet anti-LGBTQ. Their argument is that pride is important in schools and that Nick Mercs was parroting dangerous rhetoric that implies teaching children about sexuality is akin to grooming. The fact that the backlash was swift tells me that people have been trained. People have been trained to respond this way via the mainstream media, via social media, and people, various so-called activists. You didn't even think about what he was saying. You just immediately jumped on it. Oh no, if he's not all for it, then we're just going to jump on it. And let me tell you something. Half these people, if not the majority of these people who have, put this onslaught upon this man, guarantee you they don't have kids. They don't care. They just care about their own agenda. They want to push their own rhetorics, their own ideologies. They don't care about how it actually affects children. That is introducing children to concepts that they're too young to understand. It's sexualizing children. They don't care about that because your children are collateral damage to their cause, to their movement. Guarantee you, most of these people don't have kids. That's why they have no thought for what this parent is saying. What's so bad about leaving the children out of it? You don't want to be accused of grooming. He never said anything about grooming. But when you're trying to sexualize children, is it such a stretch to use that word? So Puckett is the gamer. I'm assuming he's a gamer. He originally tweeted this. And Nick Mercs, he feels bad that he basically brought this on to this person's Twitter page. And he has not apologized for his original tweet. He said, I'm not going to apologize for it. And thank goodness, because I'm tired of these insincere apologies. He said that he doesn't believe that anything he said was wrong. So he's not going to apologize for the original tweet. However, he did feel bad about, what happened to Puckett on his page, and apparently received a lot. Nick Mercs' tweet received a lot more attention than the original tweet from Puckett, the one that he was replying to. So Puckett tweeted, "This happened 4 blocks from my Overwatch League apartment. Americans are in a sad place right now. Let people love who they love and live your own life." Okay, so that's his opinion. Notice how that's okay. Conservatives aren't going to jump on his page and try and cancel him. I'm sure a lot of them may have responded and said, no, the kids should be left out of it, like Nick Mercs did. But, notice how this guy hasn't been cancelled in any way because that's his opinion. And he's right, though. America is in a sad state. The fact that this led to an all-out brawl, outside of school, America is in a sad state. But apparently there were agitators there, and that wouldn't surprise me. They should leave little children alone. That's the real issue. Exactly. That's why people don't care if you love who you love, as they put it. We all have the same rights. We have civil rights. And, regardless of skin color, sexual preference, all of that. Male, female. Okay, sometimes we may see things that we disagree with. We can speak out about it. Or, if you have been discriminated against, there's a recourse within the law to address, acts of discrimination. But by saying that children should be left out of it, meaning their innocence should be preserved and they should be taught the things that matter, by saying that doesn't mean you're discriminating against anybody. You're saying what you believe is best for children, especially if you're a parent yourself or a school teacher, somebody who, is within education, who knows how these things impact children. You're allowed to give your opinion. However, many others took Nick Mercs' side of the debate, citing that he has just had a child and arguing that it is for parents to choose how and when to have those conversations with children rather than teachers. Some parents are very uncomfortable at the idea of their 6-year-olds being taught about gay relationships and, gay relations, things of that nature. Many of them would feel the same about straight people. They would feel the same about that. We've had this debate about sex education in school. There are plenty of people, if you tell them, oh, sex education is going to be moved into elementary schools, we're going to start earlier because of teen pregnancy, parents will have a lot to say. Parents have had a lot to say historically. This debate has been going on for a very, very long time. And now you're introducing the whole LGBT aspect into it. But this debate has been going on for a very long time. Many parents believe that we should wait. And some parents believe that it should just be the parents who teach it. Just like some parents believe that nobody should teach religion to their children. That's up to them to decide if they're going to introduce religion, to their child, because they might see that as indoctrination. But for some reason, when it comes to LGBTQ, they can't be criticized. They can't be touched. They can't be questioned. That sounds very cultish to me. On the stream the next day, Nick took a few minutes at the outset to address his tweet. He said that he had not intended to hurt anyone, but recognized that he had. However, he stopped short of apologizing for the tweet and said he stood by what he said. Yeah, I said what I said. More people need to say that. Okay, people need to take that stance a lot more. I said what I said.
Simply feel that I want to be the one and my wife wants to be the one to speak with our child about stuff like that. And that was the tweet. That was the tweet. You can take the tweet if you want and you can spin it, flip it, flop it, quote tweet it. You can put 10 paragraphs on top of it. You can do whatever you want to it to make you feel better if that's what you want to do. But that was the tweet, okay? So if you came here to hear that, I hope you feel a little better about it. I didn't mean to upset anybody. I know that I did. I'm not apologizing about the tweet because I don't feel like it's wrong. I'm going to stand by what I said. I'm not going to delete the tweet. I just want to make sure everybody understands exactly the point I was trying to make by tweeting my response. And I do want to apologize to Puckett though. I feel like I might have brought a little bit of shit his way, man. I didn't mean to do that.
So a matter of hours after Nick's response to the controversy, players noticed that his operator bundle was no longer available in Call of Duty in either Warzone 2 or Modern Warfare 2. Activision soon confirmed that they had removed the skin due to recent events. So someone asked about it and they said, due to recent events, we have removed the Nick Mercs operator bundle from the Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone store. We are focused on celebrating Pride with our employees and our community. Okay. Apparently this is an attack against Pride Month, an attack against Pride. Now the good news is that Nick has received a lot of support from other gamers, many of which are saying, remove my skin too then, Call of Duty. You're going to do that to our friend. You can remove my skin too. And apparently he has gained a lot more followers on Twitter. I mean, I followed him straight away, but he has gained a lot more followers on Twitter. Nick Mercs put out a statement on Twitter that didn't directly address the situation. Rather, he thanked those who had his back through the controversy, saying, friends are created in good times, but families are built through adversity. Appreciate all of you that have my back. Understand my position as a new father and recognize the love I have for all. Ain't no hate in this heart. P&L. There you go. It shouldn't automatically be seen as hateful to be concerned about your children and wanting what's best for them. That shouldn't be seen as hateful. It's clear that the attempt to cancel him has not worked. And he's gained a lot more support in the process. So at the time of writing on June 12, Nick's follower count on Twitter has grown by around 50,000 since June 8, despite the fact that Nick was actually losing hundreds of followers a day prior to the tweet, according to social media stat tracking site Social Blade. Wow, I didn't know that. That's interesting. So look at that. I'm sure it's normal to lose followers on a daily basis for whatever reason. And then look at that now. Up by 50,000. Thank you, Call of Duty. What Nick would prefer, though, is that growth is reflected in his Twitch metrics too. Social Blade has his Twitch following growing at a slightly faster rate than before, though whether that ends up reflected in his subscriber count remains to be seen. Yeah, obviously you want it reflected in where you can earn more money. Neither Tim nor Nick have streamed since June 9, the same day Nick's skin was removed. Fans will no doubt be keeping an eye out to see when they do go live again, and, more significantly, how they address the situation. Nick has already refused to apologise for what he said. They clarified that he never meant to hurt anybody. So this is Tim the Tatman, if I'm saying that right. He said, Nick Mercs has been my friend for years. We went in getting our Call of Duty operators together. It feels wrong for me to have mine and him no longer have his. In support of my friend, please remove my Tim the Tatman bundle. That's how you stand by your friend. And when asked for a statement, Activision had this to say. At Tim's request, we have removed the Tim the Tatman operator bundle from the Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone zone. Community response to the decision has been mixed, with some already missing Tim's skin and lamenting that they didn't pick it up while it was on the store. So I'm glad to hear that, many are supporting him. Obviously, there's going to be people who don't agree and, want him cancelled. I mean, that's how we got here in the first place. But he knows who his true friends are because they're the ones sticking by him. Guys, I've got a new camera and the battery died, so I'm going to have to finish the rest on my phone. So where was I? Technical difficulties. The whole thing did divide the Call of Duty community. There were other creators who called him out. For some reason, they believe that him caring about his kids and what they're exposed to and what they learn in school, apparently that's offensive. So other creators called him out, but I would think a great number, if not the majority of people, rallied behind him and supported him. He's got more followers on Twitter, probably people who agreed with him, and people who just thought the response from Call of Duty was way too harsh and just unnecessary. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, and God willing, I will see you in the next video with a fully charged camera, hopefully.